Hi, this is Syrian RC, and I'm actually doing a review on the Savage 110 BA Lapua, and I'll just give you some information in regards to just little things to know before you buy this, or if you have one, because there's a lot of information that I needed that I had to do a tremendous research for. A lot of parts I bought and returned, so especially getting rings and the scope and all that. So I'm just going to go through a few things with this. So this is my Savage 110 BA. It's fairly new. Kind of left that sticker on right there, but I've had this thing for about a year. But I've just now bought a better scope about a few months ago, and it's so much better. Anyway, this is a Nightforce ATACR scope. A very popular scope for this is the Nightforce NXX or NXS. Is probably the signature scope for this that people get, and that is the 5.5. Let's see, it's been a while. By 22 by 56, or 5.5 by or 22 times 50. Those have 100 MOA of travel. Awesome scopes. Those are going to be 30 millimeter rings. If you get the NSX, you're going to have to buy medium rings with the 50 field of view. If you're getting the 56, you have to get high rings. This is an ATACR. It has a 34 millimeter tube, and as you can see, it fits perfectly. Can't get any lower than that. A lot of people actually get medium rings and may shave the rail here. I didn't want to go through all that. I mean, it's pretty low as it sits. But high rings, these are the ones right here. A210 is what you want to get if you buy Nightforce rings. These are the 6 screw. Make sure the 6 screw. These ones are actually the 4 screw. I just upgraded to these. I actually have another gun I'm going to put that 4 screw on. 6 screw is supposed to give it just a little more. It's just for large Magnum rifles. So this gun's going to run you about $2,000. Sometimes you can get it for $1,850 on Gunbroker or something, but at the time when I bought this, it was very high in demand. I paid $2,400 almost. So, but it's worth it. I don't regret it. I love to shoot this thing. I have a lot of guns, but this one's by far the funnest gun to shoot, because there's so much information to learn regarding shooting, the MRAD system, calculations, making data books, and reloading. There's a lot of stuff to learn. This ATACR is going to cost you about $2,400, just as much as a gun, probably more than the gun. This uses the same glass as the Nightforce Beast. Nightforce Beast is going to cost you about $3,500, and that's too much. You don't even need that. You don't even need this. NXS will do just fine. Or a lot of people buy the Loophole Mark IVs, M5, ERT, 8.5 by 25 by 50 mil-dot. That was the other scope I was going to buy, but it's adequate. But I read a lot of views, a lot of people who have Nightforce experience saying this thing will never treat you wrong. So I went ahead and spent the extra $500-600 to get the ATACR. And an XS will cost you roughly $1,600 to $1,800, depending on what you want on it, depending on your reticles, if you want it illuminated or anything like zero stop. I like the zero stop, But this thing, I pretty much keep at the max magnification. I don't really adjust it any, because I'm always shooting, 12, 1300. Haven't got to 1600 yet. I've tried, but I got overzealous. I'm actually starting to reload. That's another thing that you probably want to do. Reloading your own ammunition, because you want precision, and you want to learn the precision. So I have the best luck with the 215M Federal primers, the SMK 300 grain bullets, and Lapua brass only. That Lapua brass is going to cost you. Lapua brass is roughly around $300. That's for 100 casings. And a lot of people say they reload them 10 times, but I don't go over 3 or 4 times. Make sure you inspect those cases. Ammunition for this is very expensive. $109.99. These are the Federals. You can buy these. These are probably the cheapest. These are $37 for 10 rounds. But they're good rounds. They're very accurate. I mean, don't think those are cheap rounds, because they're not. These actually work. Are very precise. And as you can see, 30-06 versus 338, considerable difference. And if you're going to reload, RCBS Rock Chucker, don't need anything more than that. I'd buy a single stage. I wouldn't buy those progressives. You want this to be accurate as possible. And I keep saying that because just being off by the tiniest hair, you'll be off by a lot at 1600 yards. So if you're off by 1 mil at 1600 yards, that's 1,000 yards is 3.6 feet, and 1500 is 3.6, 4 point. So 5 feet off, over 5 feet off, just being off by 1 mil. So that's why it's important. This is first shot accuracy is the whole point of this. If you just want to shoot 1,000 yards, buy a 308. You don't need this. If you're going to buy this, you might as well go to the full potential. And when you learn, I would definitely, this is a Caldwell. This is the lead sled. Just if you're zeroing in, you just want to be as accurate as possible. So I'd probably buy one of these. And then for your target, I like a big piece of steel. Big piece of steel, probably 3 feet wide or so. It's just, at 1,500 yards, you want to hear that ding. And paint your tips so you know what is what. So for your data book, you can log it for your accuracy. Anyway, so when you're reloading for this, I would just do your research and find some good supplies. I use Retumbo powder. Those Federal primers, 215M, Lapua casings, SMK 300 grain. This thing is, I don't know why, but the 300 grain is a lot more accurate than the 250s. So that's what I've been using. I've experimented a little bit, but I think that's probably the best combination that I have found. But I've actually done reloading right now because I can't find any powder. Tumbo powder is been on a waiting list or back orders with 3 different places for about 5 months now, and nothing. So I've just been reloading 223s and 5.56. So that's pretty much it that I can say about this for now. I mean, a lot of it you do your own research. But very fun gun to shoot. It actually doesn't kick as much as you think. It kicks, don't get me wrong, it kicks. But you know, my 30-06 kicks just about the same. The reason being, this thing is like 16 pounds. It's very heavy. That's actually without the scope, so we're probably running about 18 pounds right now. Awesome piece. When you receive this in the mail, you'll be astounded because it's bigger than you think. And compared to the Barretts, this thing can compete with the Barretts. I would call this a best value sniper rifle. But 2,000 versus 7,000-8,000, I'll take the Lapua, the Savage. So anyway, I think the biggest part I had problems with is the rings, Nightforce rings. You can get burst signature rings. They come with an insert that you don't have to lap. But with the Nightforce rings, I bought Nightforce. They say you don't have to lap those rings. I would get some alignment bars just to make sure, because your rail can be off. There's a lot of little factors that can, you know, and if your rings are off, you can ruin your scope. I'm not going to ruin this scope. The only 34, if you're buying the ATACR, the only 34 millimeter scope mounting kit with alignment bars and lapping bars is called Cocopelli Accurizing Kit. I couldn't find any Wheeler or any other alignment or lapping kit for this except that one. But I bought that kit just for the lapping bars, not lapping bars, the alignment bars, just to make sure the rings were aligned properly, and they were. They were almost perfect. So I don't know. I like Nightforce rings. $130. If you want some burst signatures, they'll cost you about around $35. A lot easier to use. I have burst signatures on some of my other guns, and they're very easy to install. So you'll need a lot of real estate to shoot this thing. I go to a dry lake bed, have miles of free land, no one around. People in big cities have trouble shooting this thing, or they take these to, you know, the ranges, a couple hundred yards, kind of pointless. I would take this out to the desert or something, or if you live in the desert, you could probably utilize this more. But you should definitely be shooting this to its full potential. A lot of websites and books to read regarding the mil-dot system. I use the mil-dot. I like the mil-dot. It's easy to use, and it's the calculations are easy. So, but you pretty much pick what you want or what you're used to. But I like the mil-dot. So, if you have any questions, just post them below, and I'll answer them to the best I can. So, later. One more thing I want to add. First focal plane and second focal plane. This is a big question that people ask when they're selecting a scope. Second focal plane is when you're magnifying, your reticle stays the same, so it goes out of proportion, so you're going to have to do your own calculations when you're on target at different distances. First focal plane, everything stays in proportion. So if you magnify, your reticle magnifies. So everything stays in proportion, but your reticle does grow in size. It's not as precise as a first focal plane is not as precise at long distances. Second focal plane is made it's more precise. Your reticle has thinner crosshairs. Nightforce does not make first focal plane, except for the Nightforce Beast. There's a reason for that. For precision, and in the military, they're all second focal plane. So you're not going to see first focal plane. Well, I guess you would see first focal plane, but in teaching, second focal plane calculations, all that is incorporated for the second focal plane scope. If you want first focal plane, easier to use, Leupold ERT M5, awesome scope, Mark IV. First focal plane, probably easier to use than this, but I would recommend the Nightforce. So that's pretty much it. There was something else I wanted to bring up. I can't really remember what it is, but yeah, I would recommend this scope. ATACR Nightforce, same glass as Nightforce Beast. You won't be disappointed, promise.